Hi, I'm Jay Phelan.
And I'm Terry Burnham.
We're here to talk about our book, The Secret Syllabus, a guide to the unwritten rules of college success.
We wrote the Secret Syllabus to help college students achieve their goals, and specifically because we see so many students who take actions that appear to be counterproductive and inefficient.
College is not high school. It's an alien culture. The methods and strategies that worked in high school typically will not suffice when you get to college.
So college is an alien culture, and the information you need to navigate that world is not written down in the syllabus. If you attempt to wing it, use your gut or your instinct, you're likely to fail or be extremely inefficient.
So let's look at some of the stuff that we cover, starting with, say, a question like this. Would you let a 10-year-old make one of the most important decisions of your life? We'll answer that. But first, I want to say that most of the standard advice that you'll hear is either unhelpful, make sure to go to class, or it's incomplete. There's also another category of advice that you'll get that's just simply wrong. Consider this. The sooner you commit to a major, the better a candidate you'll be for a good job, graduate school, and everything else. Imagine this scenario. Two students come across each other, say, in the cafeteria. One says, I'm pre-law. I've wanted to be a federal public defender ever since I was a little girl, 10 years old. I've just finished a summer internship working for the Innocence Project, and for the past 3 years, I've volunteered at a legal aid society. How about you? Student 2 doesn't have a major. They don't have a plan yet. Typically, they feel bad about themselves and everything else. They're getting behind. They're not going to do as well. In the Secret Syllabus, we look at the data because the data say it's actually switched. We'll explore why student 1 maybe isn't in as great a place as it looks like they are, and why student 2 might be in a better place exploring what it is that they're going to do. Or consider this. Florian knew since the time he was a little boy that he wanted to be an orthopedic surgeon. When he was in college, he got a great internship shadowing an orthopedic surgeon. He thought, wow, I'm going to learn all about it. He followed her. He saw all this great work that she was doing, and he had this amazing realization. He was bored to tears. It was repetitive. And suddenly he thought, wow, this thing I thought when I was a 10-year-old boy was going to be amazing and everyone liked, I'm not sure that's what I want to do. Is that a failure? Is that a setback? Or is college the perfect time to explore more who you are, what it is that you want to do?
We believe for most people, having a career path that's inflexible and fixed from the time you're 6 or 8 or 10 is simply bad advice. Another type of advice is absolutely correct, but in a sense unhelpful. Perhaps the single most common piece of advice you'll find is go to office hours. You got to go to office hours. You have to go to office hours. And Jay and I agree. You got to go to office hours.
Sure.
Okay, now you're in office hours. Now what are you going to do? And the answer is no one tells you. So what you might do is do what one of our students, Isabella, did. I've got a question about problem 3. When I'm done with problem 3, I've got a question about problem 4, problem 7, problem 11, problem 21, and problem 27. Isabella is completely within her rights to come to office hours and ask about the problem set. But if you think about your life as a college student, you're being told what to do all the time. Here's a situation office hours. It's the only one that we can think of where you control the agenda. You can ask about the problem set, but you can also ask a different sort of question. For example, what's the best way to learn? How did you get interested in research? What were your motivations? If you were a student in this class, how would you spend your study time? These questions are much more likely to have a big impact on the trajectory of your college life than asking for more help on the problem set.
Another subject that everyone is confronted with when they get to college is, how do you study? Decades of rigorous educational research has revealed how we should study to learn most effectively. Have you been taught how to study most effectively? Probably not. Turns out if you haven't been taught what the methods are, then you need to learn them. This is effective for everyone.
You are entering a new and alien world. What do you need? Well, you need a mentor. Think of Luke Skywalker and Yoda. Yoda knows the world better than Luke, and he can speed up the learning process for Luke by helping as a mentor. That's our goal. We did all sorts of silly things and wasted time in college. We have learned a lot, and our goal is to transfer that knowledge to you to be more efficient.
So I have to make a full disclosure, and that's that I was a terrible student. Now, I did very well in high school, but in college, where I was the first generation of my family to attend, I performed very badly. I got firsthand knowledge of something called academic probation. Later, when I was applying to graduate school, a professor told me, this is the worst transcript I've ever seen. Importantly, though, I was able to bounce back. And ultimately, I was able to earn a master's degree from Yale and my PhD from Harvard. But the message here is that we made a lot of avoidable and spectacularly terrible choices. And these blunders caused us to miss a lot of opportunities, to waste a lot of time in aimless, unproductive floundering.
So both of us made these sorts of mistakes, but we've learned. We were students, we became graduate students, we became instructors and professors. We've now taught over 20,000 students between the two of us at UCLA, Chapman, Harvard, MIT, and Pepperdine. And from that, we've developed a set of topics and advice to provide to students step-by-step information for how to get better outcomes. Another area where people have a lot of stress and trouble when they get to college is learning how to interact with their faculty members. Farhan was getting close to graduating and he needed a letter of recommendation for graduate school, but he didn't have a relationship with any of his instructors. So he wrote the following letter. It's that time of year when people you have never met shamelessly express their entitlement to you in the form of a letter of recommendation request. Imagine the gall of an effectively complete stranger demanding to add an extra obligation to your life. Well, now you don't have to imagine it. It's a terrible shame, really. And then he lists a set of reasons for why he didn't develop a relationship without the schedule conflict that precluded me, blah, blah, blah. Otherwise, you'd have been delighted by my insightful questions. So it goes on to say, I have very low expectations for getting my letter of recommendation, but I'm hopeful. Thank you. For a person who hasn't got a relationship with an instructor, this is a nice letter. It's charming, but it's unlikely to be successful because of something that we call lag time. What is lag time? That's how long it takes between when you start a process and when you can effectively complete it. When is your first interaction with a professor, and when do you get a compelling letter of recommendation? And the answer is, you have to have developed a relationship with the instructor, and if you don't, you end up in a situation such as the one we described with Farhan.
Here's someone who had a slightly better relationship strategy. Dr. Phelan, I felt compelled to write you. Today was the best genetics lecture I've attended all quarter. The chicken codominance study, the evolution of antibiotic resistance, a young T.H. Morgan, and the raccoon picture were just a few highlights. I was positively giddy during and after lecture. I eagerly await your next lecture on Friday. Sincerely, Julissa. That's a great email to receive. And when I look closer, I realize she's not actually asking for anything. What she's done is she started the process of developing a professional relationship. This is one of those skills that falls between the cracks of traditional course offerings. It's important, but where do you learn it? And it's complicated. It's part psychology, but it's also negotiation and art and writing and manners and animal behavior and debate and public speaking and conversation. Business people like to say, if you get 10 good meetings, you're gonna have 3 good prospects. And from that, that's gonna lead to 1 sale. You can view a relationship strategy in college similarly. If you write 10 good intro emails introducing yourself, talking about your experience in the class, that might lead to 3 situations where you have multiple contacts with someone. That might lead to 1 long-term ally, a mentor, someone who can help you out down the road.
So in conclusion, what have we done? We've tried to distill our decades of experience in academics to allow you to be as effective as possible in as little time as possible. Importantly, being successful in college and life is not a set of tricks or hacks. In summary, what we want you to be is not just an effective student, but an effective person. We hope that you'll get to trust the Secret Syllabus, come back to it over and over again, and use it to make your life better. In this, we can serve as your mentor, your Yoda, your coach, your inspirational speaker, your trainer, your therapist, your tour guide, your tutor, an older sibling, and your professor. It's all wrapped into one.
You got this.